Walk into Walmart on a Saturday afternoon, and it doesn't feel like shopping. It feels like survival. Bright lights humming overhead, carts rattling like metal thunder, toddlers staging emotional breakdowns in the toy aisle, and somewhere in the middle of it all, stacked higher than the cereal aisle, are the televisions. Rows and rows of glowing boxes promising the same miracle. 4K Ultra HD, Smart TV, HDR cinema experience, big screen, tiny price. Every box acts like it's selling the future. Every yellow rollback tag screams like a carnival barker offering life-changing bargains at half price. You see a 55-inch smart TV for a couple $100, and your brain whispers, "Come on, how bad could it be?" And that's the moment Walmart wins, because some of those TVs are absolute treasures for the money. Shockingly good, surprisingly capable, truly worth owning. But others, they're engineered disasters, not accidents. Not cheap because of value. Cheap because they were designed to be disposable. A trap disguised as a discount. TVs that look fine under Walmart's bright fluorescent lights. But as soon as you get home, turn off the lamps, dim the room, and play a movie. They transform into grainy shadows, motion blur that looks like watercolor art, tin can audio buzzing like a swarm of angry bees, and reliability that lasts about as long as your leftover pizza. Today, we're exposing the 10 most common TV brands you'll find at Walmart, ranked from absolute junk to the ones actually worth your living room. And at the very end, I'll tell you the single Walmart TV brand you should run from like it's leaking radioactive goo. So, buckle up. Number 10. On. The trap in a box. On paper, On looks like the deal of the century. Every Black Friday, Walmart builds mountains of these boxes, towering stacks of 198 55-inch TVs calling your name like a siren song. You think you're stealing value. But ONN is not a bargain. It's bait. From the moment you lift it out of the box, everything feels flimsy. The plastic bends like a dollar store lawn chair. The stand wobbles like it was assembled with leftover soda cans. Under Walmart's fluorescent lighting, the panel looks bright enough, but that's marketing sorcery. Bring it home, lower the lights, and suddenly your football game looks like a watercolor painting smashed in a washing machine. Dark scenes, blotchy, sports, smear city, motion blur, everywhere. The blacks? More like ash-gray disappointment. And the sound, imagine bees trapped inside a soup can every time you turn up the volume. Nobody warns you that you'll need a soundbar just to understand dialogue, and that instantly doubles the cost of your deal. But here's the real horror: reliability. HDMI ports randomly die. Remotes stop connecting. Panels go black overnight like they decided to take a vacation to the afterlife. And the failure timing? Always suspiciously close to the end of Walmart's return window. One buyer grabbed an ONN TV on Black Friday because the price looked insane. 3 months later, buzzing audio. By month 6, the panel was a corpse. No repair. No exchange. Just instant regret. Bottom line, On isn't a value play. It's an engineered booby trap. Cheap today, expensive tomorrow. Number 9. RCA, the mask of nostalgia. Your grandparents remember RCA like royalty. Radios that survived decades, TVs that were built like tanks. Back then, RCA meant dependability. Fast forward to 2025, and RCA at Walmart is nostalgia dressed as reliability. But once you turn it on, the illusion shatters like cheap glass. The panels are dull and colorless. Skin tones look washed like someone rinsed your movie under tap water. Contrast? Anemic? Viewing angles? Step 2 feet to the left, and blacks turn into ghostly gray clouds. The Smart software is one of the worst offenders. Apps crash like toddlers without a nap. Menus freeze. Sometimes Netflix refuses to open unless you restart the entire TV, twice. Buying RCA means you'll eventually plug in a Roku stick just to make the thing usable. And that defeats the entire purpose of buying a smart TV. Durability? HDMI ports burn out. Backlights flicker. Power supplies die before you finish a season of your favorite show. And warranty support? A marathon of phone calls ping-ponging between Walmart and RCA's licensing company until you eventually give up in emotional exhaustion. A Walmart shopper tried RCA for a guest room. Within a year, black screen, no repair, no refund, no replacement. They ended up throwing it away. Bottom line, RCA is a fossil, and not the cool museum kind. It's nostalgia wearing a dollar store mask. Number 8. JVC, the invisible middle child. JVC once made iconic camcorders and audio gear, but in Walmart's TV lineup, JVC is the brand you forget exists until you're already regretting the purchase. Picture quality is fine. Not great, not terrible, just aggressively average. Brightness is mediocre. Colors lack life. Motion blur turns sports into buttery streaks. Dark scenes look like someone dragged a fog machine into your living room. But the real nightmare is consistency. Some JVC models use Roku, others use Fire TV, others use some random off-brand OS nobody in the building can pronounce, so two JVC TVs sitting side by side might act like totally different products from totally different planets. One smooth, one glitchy, one usable, one unusable. Reliability? Dead pixels in months, remote sensors failing, panels flickering after light use, and US warranty support is basically a rumor. Bottom line, JVC isn't catastrophic, but it's forgettable, inconsistent, under-supported, and painfully easy to regret. Number 7. Philips, the confusing split personality. Philips is a brand that messes with your instincts. In Europe, Philips is respected. Beautiful panels, sleek design, ambilight effects glowing softly on your walls, premium cinematic immersion. It feels high-end, thoughtful, sophisticated. But the Philips you'll find at Walmart? Not that Philips. It's the budget cousin, stripped of everything that made the European models special, and wearing the same badge like a borrowed suit. Walmart Philips looks impressive on the shelf. Slim bezels, clean lines, shiny finish, like a model dressed for the prom. But the second you turn it on, reality crashes in like a malfunctioning elevator. Menus lag like you're pressing buttons through wet cement. Open Netflix and watch the TV freeze as if it just remembered it's running on 200% discount hardware. Apps stutter, crash, reboot, as if the smart brain inside this thing stayed home to nap. Darkroom performance? Gray shadows instead of black. Brightness? Just enough to exist, not enough to enjoy. Colors? Sometimes oversaturated, sometimes dull, never predictable. It feels like Philips hired one engineer to do all the calibration after a Red Bull and a blindfold. Reliability is where the frustration really kicks in. Random reboots, flickering backlights, pixel dimming after a year, OS that refuses to update, customer support that reads from scripts slower than dial-up internet. One of our viewers bought a Philips expecting European magic. Week 1, ambilight effect looked incredible. Week 5, menus moved slower than a DMV line. Month 6, they sold the TV and walked away like they escaped a toxic relationship. Bottom line, Philips in Europe is gold. Philips in Walmart is a headache wearing a familiar face. Don't let nostalgia trick you. Number 6. Panasonic, the ghost of greatness. Panasonic used to be the name in televisions. If you owned one of the legendary Panasonic plasma sets 10 to 15 years ago, you probably still remember the picture like a love affair. Those TVs had soul. Today, at Walmart, Panasonic is a ghost. You'll only see a few models, scattered here and there like clearance merchandise from a forgotten era. These aren't Panasonic's cutting-edge designs. They're stripped-down LCD leftovers built for bargain bins, not home theaters. The performance? Fine. Not embarrassing, not breathtaking, just fine. Brightness is serviceable. Colors are passable. Contrast is soft. Dark scenes? Think gray fog, not cinematic immersion. And the software? A time capsule. Limited app store, outdated UI, half-baked navigation, and updates that roll in about as quickly as snow in July. You'll spend more time restarting the system than watching shows. Durability is actually decent. Panasonic still knows how to build physical hardware better than the bargain brands. HDMI ports rarely fail. Frames feel sturdier, and image retention issues are less common. But the price is the problem. Panasonic at Walmart often costs more than TCL and Hisense, without delivering the same brightness, contrast, or smart features. One viewer imported a Panasonic OLED after hearing the legendary hype. Picture quality? Stunning. Software ecosystem? A disaster. Apps missing. No HBO Max. Updates slow. Customer support distant. They paid top dollar for half the ecosystem. It felt like a premium car, with a steering wheel that only works on weekends. Bottom line, Panasonic is the durable old veteran, but outdated, underpowered, and stuck in the past. You're paying for nostalgia, not innovation. Don't overpay for the name. Number 5. Vizio, the fallen hero of Walmart. There was a time, not long ago, when Vizio was the undefeated value champion. If you wanted a big screen on a budget that still looked surprisingly premium, Vizio was the obvious answer. In the early 2010s, buying Vizio felt like winning the game of affordable home theaters. Walmart shoppers loved them for the same reason they loved Costco pizza slices: huge value, tiny price. But 2025 is a different battlefield. Vizio panels can still impress. Bright HDR, surprisingly rich color, decent black levels, great for movie nights or casual gaming. Picture quality can be shockingly good for the price. But everything falls apart when you turn on the Smart OS, SmartCast. And SmartCast is like a shopping cart with one broken wheel, always dragging you sideways, always slowing you down, always making the trip more painful than it needs to be. Apps freeze. Menus lag. Inputs hang. Streaming services crash randomly. You press a button, and the TV needs 5 seconds to remember it exists. Many Vizio owners eventually plug in a Fire Stick or Roku just to bypass the SmartCast nightmare, which instantly turns your smart TV into a dumb panel with a USB parasite attached to its back. Durability? A mixed bag. Some Vizio TVs last 5 years with 0 complaints. Others die within months. Flickering backlights, dead HDMI ports, total power failure. Buying Vizio at Walmart feels like spinning a roulette wheel. Great screen or instant return line. One shopper summed it up perfectly. Picture was gorgeous for 60 days. Month 3, apps kept freezing. Month 8, replaced with a Hisense. Classic Vizio story. Bottom line, Vizio still delivers legitimately great picture for the price, but SmartCast is a disaster, and reliability is unpredictable. It's no longer the unbeatable value the brand once promised. Buy only if you are prepared for A. External streaming sticks. B. Potential panel drama. C. Unpredictable lifespan. Number 4. Hisense, the budget brawler with attitude. Hisense didn't sneak into Walmart. It kicked the doors open. 10 years ago, it was the "what is this brand again" option you walked past without a glance. Today, Hisense is one of the most aggressive disruptors in the entire TV market. Why? Because Hisense gives you features that used to cost twice the price. Mini LED backlight, high peak brightness, Dolby Vision HDR, fast gaming response, low input lag. And on paper, Hisense looks like a premium assassin dressed in bargain clothes. Picture quality? For the price, shockingly impressive. Bright scenes pop, HDR looks dramatic, contrast is strong, and scrolling text or subtitles stay readable without glow explosions. Gamers love Hisense because the input lag feels buttery smooth, even on budget models. Sports? Surprisingly clean. Movies? Solid immersion. But here's the catch, and it's the same one that keeps Hisense from rising higher on the list. Quality control and durability are inconsistent. You might get a Hisense that runs beautifully for years, or you might get the model whose backlight flickers like a club strobe at month 7. Software updates can be slow, and low-tier Hisense models sometimes get zero OS support, leaving bugs in place forever. Audio is weak across the board. Thin, tiny, boxy. Almost every Hisense buyer ends up purchasing a soundbar, which turns that sweet deal into a surprisingly expensive experience. One viewer summed Hisense up perfectly. Bought a Hisense U8H for half the price of an LG OLED. The picture blew me away. The sound was like cereal box echoes. I bought a soundbar and suddenly I felt like I owned a $3,000 setup for $1,200. Still nervous about longevity. Bottom line, Hisense punches above its price, sometimes legendary, sometimes unstable. A great deal if you crave value and accept risk. Number 3. TCL, the value disruptor that changed the game. TCL didn't just join the Walmart TV pack, it rewrote the rules. Back when Samsung and LG controlled everything premium, TCL dropped the 6 Series, and suddenly everyday shoppers could experience QLED brightness, Dolby Vision, and strong HDR without maxing a credit card. TCL is the brand that forced the entire industry to rethink pricing. Today at Walmart, TCL remains one of the strongest value picks. Picture quality is solid, brightness is strong, Roku or Google TV makes streaming painless, and the viewing angles are better than any bargain model. Gamers get fast response times and minimal lag. Movie lovers get deep blacks and cinematic immersion, especially on mini LED models. Sports stay sharp without blur explosions. But the same warning applies. Quality control is unpredictable. One TCL looks flawless out of the box. Crisp picture, no dead pixels, zero light bleed. Another looks like it just survived shipping through a boxing match. Random pixel defects, panel clouding, uneven dimming. Buying TCL is like buying a lottery ticket. You might win big. Or you might spend Saturday morning in Walmart's return line discussing panel defects with an employee who has already seen 12 of them today. One Walmart customer wrote, "My TCL 6 Series blew me away. Told my brother to buy one. His arrived with 2 dead pixels and screen bleed. Replacement took weeks." Bottom line, TCL delivers near-premium performance for a budget price, but quality can be a gamble. Walmart is full of winners and losers sitting in the same aisle. Number 2. Samsung, the flashy powerhouse with strings attached. Walk down Walmart's TV aisle, and it feels like Samsung took over the lighting grid. Every panel looks like Times Square exploded. Samsung's QLED and Neo QLED sets are bright, sharp, colorful, and bold. Daylight viewing? Effortless. Sports? Crisp. Movies? Punchy. Gaming? Smooth, fast, responsive. Samsung's Tizen OS is slick, feature-rich, and well-supported. Apps launch fast, navigation is clean, updates roll out regularly, and gamers get VRR, low latency, and high refresh rates baked right in. Samsung delivers a premium viewing experience with mass appeal, and when it's on sale at Walmart, it's one of the best practical picks for bright rooms and heavy everyday use. But owning Samsung means swallowing one frustrating pill: the ads. Even after you spend premium money, Samsung still stuffs ads, promos, and suggested content inside the menus like a billboard crammed into your living room. Paid thousands? Still getting ads. Some shoppers feel like Samsung is renting space on their home screen instead of letting them own the device they purchased. Repairs are another sting. If something breaks outside warranty, panel, motherboard, LED driver, repairs can cost as much as buying a new TV, and most people don't bother. Bottom line, Samsung delivers dazzling general performance, big brightness, strong gaming support, and wide app compatibility, but expect unavoidable ads and premium repair bills. Number 1. LG, the quiet king of Walmart. If Samsung is the flashy Vegas act, LG is the silent assassin that strolls in, sits down, and dominates without saying a word. LG's OLED technology is the reason the brand sits at the top of Walmart's food chain. While every other TV fights glare with backlights, LG OLED pixels light up individually, meaning perfect blacks, infinite contrast, colors that feel three-dimensional, cinematic immersion you can't unsee. Watch a movie on LG OLED and the screen disappears. Shadows look like velvet. Highlights glow naturally, and every scene feels emotionally alive. Gaming performance is chef's kiss perfect. Near-instant pixel response, ultra-low lag, and motion so smooth it feels like the controller reads your thoughts. LG's WebOS is also one of the best TV interfaces in existence. Fast, polished, intuitive, no app headaches, no SmartCast frustration, and no random reboots every time you breathe. Durability? LG panels routinely survive 5 to 7 years of heavy everyday use without major failure. You pay more upfront, but you get fewer headaches, fewer returns, fewer unpredictable defects, and far better resale confidence. OLED burn-in? Yes, technically possible. But modern LG models have pixel shifting, panel refresh cycles, and brightness safeguards that make real-world burn-in genuinely rare, unless you abuse the display with static logos. One Walmart buyer upgraded from Samsung QLED to LG C-Series. Dark scenes finally looked dark. Sports stopped smearing. Colors feel alive. Only regret, not switching sooner. Bottom line, LG gives you the best picture quality Walmart offers, the strongest cinematic experience, excellent durability, and the least regret over time. It costs more, but it saves frustration, returns, and replacement cycles. The final truth: how to beat the Walmart TV trap. Walmart's cheapest TVs are not bargains. They are engineered to break early, look weak in the dark, and force you to buy soundbars, streaming sticks, upgrades, and replacements. Spend slightly more upfront, TCL, Hisense, Samsung, LG, and you'll save yourself. Years of frustration, black screens at month 8, return line battles, warranty nightmares, OS meltdowns, buzzing audio, dead HDMI ports. Smart buying always beats cheap buying. Walmart isn't trying to fool you. The aisle is just designed so the worst TVs look like the best deals. Don't get hypnotized by the yellow rollback tag. Let picture quality, durability, and software decide, not just price.